Silent of fall! Lakewood are doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Vernon. Alone with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monovoid's there. He's still alive! Wait, second slide. He's going one side. He's going a second. He's taking it. Oh my God! On three! They're all dead!
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's the Summit 2 by G2A.com, and we have made it to America, the America Division. That's right, it's day number 1, and we got 3 games for you, 3 best of ones in our round robin. I'm Coddle Guy bringing you the action, but I got connected with me remotely, a special guest, a good friend of mine, Mr. Travis Mott Bueno. Mott, can you hear me? Am I coming in loud and clear for you?
You are, and it's great to be back here for the Summit 2.
Well, I don't hear you at all. Hello?
You don't hear me? Hello? Hello?
Mott, help!
Hello? We've lost.
Oh, well.
What has happened?
Maybe I gotta make sure this thing is right here.
That's
Let's
a
see
you
if I can
issue,
get
man.
Mott active. I don't think he's muted.
This is. It's
Let's
not my
see.
fault. Trust me, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Please, you've got to believe me.
Hello? Oh, I got it right.
Hold on.
It's a me issue, apparently. All right, well, I'll go ahead and get it in the draft screen while I do try to, at the same time, resolve this
Wait.
issue. Maybe I can hang up and give him a new call right here. This is... Man, I'm not hearing Skype at all. That is bizarre as all hell.
Hello.
What the heck?
No. No, it's just not working out, huh?
That is bizarre. Let me see if I can figure this out. You can hear me, right, Mott? He's typing to me in Skype chat. Yes, he certainly can. I cannot hear him. Interesting. Let me check these volume options here. We're off to a fantastic start, America. Root Gaming got Ogre McGee, by the way. That's pretty awesome. That's going to be a Tolera mid-Ogre, if I ever saw one. But, aha, I see no audio coming through. Oh, that is why. Oh, yes. We got to switch this to this. All right, let me see. Yes. Hello, Mott. You there?
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello there, handsome. I hear you now. Sorry about that.
I
We had
knew
the
this
wrong
was a you
device.
issue, man. I was like, damn it. I made sure everything was good before the game started. All right, we're in. We're in,
Yeah,
dude.
we're
made it.
great. Sorry, that was my bad. The device like auto-defaulted to some other device when I was fixing the sync and stuff, but whatever. We'll call it a warm-up as finally we're in it. So I'm glad you're here by my side. Model Guy's back in action, folks, and it couldn't be a better time because it's America, and this is what we're all about, baby. So our matchup, it's going to be Root Gaming versus Infinity Stack, or Infinity +4. Root Gaming made their way all the way through the qualifier part of the Summit America, 2-0ing everyone along the way, and that was mostly on the back of this guy right here, the Ogre McGee Mott. I don't know if you got to see any of the games, but they were awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, honestly, and I think this is a hero that certainly deserves to be not necessarily top pick, but I think up there. Like, this guy's impossible to kill. He's so damn tanky. Plus, you get the multicast, the level 2 multicast coming out of the 2 times multicast for Fire Blast. You pretty much just own people. He has some issues with mana pools later on, but I think as a hero, as a support, he's very solid. Ignite is pretty decent as well, and almost underrated to a certain extent. As far as the teams go, I haven't seen that much of Root lately. However, Infinity +4 has a lot of players that we know and love. Frankie was actually at ESL, Infinity, that is,
Okay.
for those of you that don't know. And he's just a fantastic guy. And I think he's often considered one of the better American players. Now, obviously, a lot of these teams have their work cut out for them, because if you look at the people that are in the American qualifiers, you look at, like, Sneaking Links Assassins and Navi US, you're like, okay, well, that those 2 teams are probably going to, take it when it's all said and done. Although Stay Free has a really good roster. Gurk Squad, I don't know who they're going to get now, but I mean, there's some good teams here, man. This is going to be really tough for teams like Root Gaming, who did come through the qualifiers, Leviathan as well, who I haven't seen yet, but it's exciting.
Yeah, they looked really good. They are going to be playing today as well. We got 3 matchups for you. One of them did have to get postponed. The match between Pain Gaming and Not Today, which was originally on the docket, is going to be moved over. Both those teams are traveling currently, so not a problem at all. But let's get it underway here. I'm a little excited. So we already talked about it. Root Gaming's probably one of the only teams actually in the real circuit right now that are using Ogre as a core, and it's been working to their benefit. Only one other team has really banned him just out of respect, and they still came out on top. They just hopped on the back of a Brewmaster and made it work from there. Tubby the Fat they get a hold of the Batrider for him. He plays a fantastic off lane, and it's one of his main go-tos, and also a really nice guy that I ended up getting to know a little bit. And for Infinity, I know you know Frankie very well. I haven't personally gotten to cast this team yet, since they did get the pretty much the flyby right into the main stage. And yeah, I mean, it should be some really high octane action. I'm looking forward to some big stuff here for the debut. They grab a hold of the Brew, the Skywrath Mage, and one of the other most notorious offlaners in that Centaur Warrunner. I love this hero. The Stampede, it's such a great global presence to have, both offensively and defensively. I've seen it work so well. And Rubik is going to be countered back here for the side of Root. Not a really whole lot to steal as it is, but I mean, there's definitely potential there. He can also work very nicely for some early aggressive, early roam. I mean, when you got a Brew on the other side, you want to make sure you take him down as much as possible before he gets to his level 6 and really try to punish him. And I think Rubik is one that can definitely get it done. And then finally, Infinity bounce back with the Abaddon. I feel like I'm watching EG right now. This guy is fantastic, though. He's great at being able to disorient. If you got heavy lockdown coming your way, maybe from Ogre Magi, he's going to be right there to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, Abaddon's such a good hero against a lot of the lockdown that you'll see coming out from Root Gaming here. Although, I mean, he's still not necessarily the best in terms of getting lockdown for his own team, but with Brewmaster, with Centaur Warrunner, with Skywrath Mage, he doesn't really need that. I mean, this is just so aggressive, and I love the fact that they're going to be playing this style. For Root Gaming, they pick up an Undying here, and this is a hero that could do very well in the offlane if they decide to send him there. He's a pretty good support early on as well. He's not really that great of a roamer if you're going to have him and Rubik roaming around trying to get kills. So I don't know where they're going to play him yet. However, I think this is a solid choice coming out. For Infinity +4, they have the Brewmaster Master himself, Sna, as he used to put to speak in Assassins. MJW, the Centaur Warrunner standard that we saw so often for Navi US. So, I mean, they have a lot of the heroes that we know and love from them. But for Root Gaming, you already talked about Ogre. Batrider's a common pickup for them as well. And I really love the fact, I mean, anytime I get to see it Undying, I'm just like, oh, hell yeah. I just love this hero. It's great.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely great. He can be a bit hot and cold in professional play. Yeah, in pubs, people don't know what the hell's happening. You typically ignore the tombstone and just kind of get your ass beat from a bunch of little freaking zombies. But in these games, they know the better. They need to target the tombstone and get it out, get that 150 gold, and just to kind of complete that whole mess. But the heal, the sustain works out still very nicely, and he can bring some potent pushing power. So that's great. Many people might be questioning why the hell did Infinity just ban out Meepo. Well, if you didn't already notice, they are going to be sporting one stand-in, Mr. Ink Dota. Some of you may know him. He's the pub star, I guess you could say. Top Twitch streamer, really highly skilled, got great MMR, plays a fantastic Meepo, a whole lot of Meepo. But from the games he played during the early qualifier in his group Sens, or the Science Boys, he didn't get to really play Meepo. He played a lot of Spectre. Now, Spectre was banned out as well, and so was Terrorblade, and those were his two go-tos. So I'm really curious to see if he is going to be playing that #1 role and how much farm he will be bringing in and under what hero. I mean, the only other real kind of 4 Protect 1 style heroes that are in the pool and available could be maybe your Naga, maybe a Morphling. We'll see if it's something they fall back on.
They actually banned the Morphling, which I was like,
oh, they did. Damn. On their own side, too, even. So Naga's still there. I don't know how he feels about that. It's another micro-intensive hero, and he's used to it, so maybe a Naga could be popping up at the end of Root.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have room for it. And I mean, you talked about the aggressive playstyle with an Undying, with Batrider, Ogre, Magi, and Rubik. I mean, you could easily have a 4 Protect 1 kind of lineup here. And the thing about Naga is you still want to get involved with sleeps, making sure you can maybe get involved in getting a couple of kills early on in the game. It's not like you're useless early on, without a Relic or Radiance, but, you just want to fight smartly. You don't want to get caught out of position. For Infinity +4, it's all about the early game aggression for them. I mean, I don't expect him to pick up a hard carry here. And I imagine it will be Infinity playing the carry. Although he's played mid in the past, he's played pretty much every role. You'll probably have MJW in the off lane and then Stan mid lane, and then Lust and SN will probably be your supports. And that's the lineup I'm thinking for Infinity +4. I'd be very surprised to see anything else. Yeah. So what this comes down to is, what is Frankie going to pick for himself here, or SN rather, as he's the drafter for Infinity +4. So
yeah, a lot of the cores have already been banned out in this one. Naga's like the one that obviously steps into my mind. You still got some elusive pickups. The Weaver can work nicely alongside Abaddon. That's something that pops out to me that could be done. The Apothic Shield, jump in there, do a little dance in your pants and get it off. But no, it's going to be Medusa. This hero in particular has been quickly on the rise as of recent in this patch, and for many a good reason. It was even just last night. I was watching the Wagamama video on Medusa. I don't know if you've gotten to see it, but he loves to play one of the most ballsy builds you can do in Medusa. He goes phase boots, Mask of Madness, and then gets hold of a rapier and a BKB at the same time, and just figures, hey, if I get in there, I pop my Mask of Madness and my ult and my BKB all together. Well, they can't do anything. If they come in to right-click me, they'll get hit with the ult. If they try to use spells, well, they can't because I got BKB. So that's just free reign to put out huge damage with the multi-shot. I don't think it's something we're going to see here, but it's a fun little strat. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend people go check it out.
And Mana Shield's actually just super dumb on that hero sometimes. Just like, I actually don't do any damage to you. I don't know how that's happening, but the changes recently to Mana Shield have made it so this hero is actually viable in the game. It's just so impossible to take her down sometimes, even with the heroes they have in this game. So this is a really solid pickup from Infinity +4, and I've actually tried that build before, and that was kind of a mistake because I'm not Wagamama. So I mean, like, let's just say, like, you should at least know what you're doing before you get involved with picking Medusa. If you don't play Medusa, this is not going to make you better at Medusa.
He was like doing so well at just it was pretty much his four other teammates playing on their own, and he would just find his own way, ducking in and out, being nowhere near any sort of confrontation until, like, what was it, like 25 minutes, maybe a little over, that he finally had everything together, and then he just took the game back. But if you're caught out beforehand, or if they have the appropriate team to counter, you know, you'll be losing that rapier damn quick. So maybe not viable, obviously, in Pro Dota. You'll probably expect more of your reliable Yasha, your Lincolns build up. But there it is. It's going to be the anti-fun, Mr. Anti-Mage. So they are going to be rolling with that more 4 Protect 1. That is more than likely, and as the assignments roll out, going to be Ink Dota's hero. So in just kind of the similar play fashion he had in his Science Boys team, he's going to be looking to find the space, he's going to be looking to find the farm, and then he will get in your face. That's what I'm expecting from this team right now. So we finally get the lineup. Indeed, it's a Talera Ogre McGee. We're going to see a mid lane Ogre unless they switch it on up. This is going to be an exciting one, Mott. I am ready. My body is ready.
This is going to be good. I'm excited. I'm not a huge fan of the anti-mage. And I quote from the one and only Stephen Clark Ashworth, "This hero's ass." That's what he said to me the other day. I don't know if that's actually the case. I think he's good in certain lineups. In this one, this is the 4 Protect one you were talking about. Assuming he doesn't get aggro tried against, he should have a pretty good time, and I don't think that'll be the case. And as always, I'm completely wrong by the roster and who's playing what on the side of Infinity +4. Stan's playing support, so you know what? I give up.
You can never really expect. Even Root Gaming had totally switch the script as far as how they're laying it out. Talera used to be their offlaner, and now they're rolling him as typically a mid, especially when he gets a hold of this Ogre. So we'll see, though. We hop into the game. These are all best of one, folks. It's a round robin here on the Summit 2 by G2A.com America. Day number 1, the premiere. It's time to pull out your patriotic hats, but we're representing both North America and South America for this kind of a lineup as we work our way all the way to the pinnacle point, the LAN, where we'll see which team is going to make their way here to the house to duke it out head-to-head. Leading off with some introductions, I'll start on the side of the Radiant. It's Infinity +4, or the Infinity stack. We've got MJW, who's going to be playing your off-lane Centaur Warrunner just nearby. We got Lust, who is playing your Abaddon. On the mid lane, we got the stand-in, or Mr. SNA, Sna, formerly of Sneaky Nick's Assassins. He's playing your Medusa in the mid. This is typically Waga style. We'll keep an eye out for that one. And actually, over on the other side, it's Infinity who's going to be picking up the brew. And obviously, by his side, wait a minute, that wasn't Sna. Sna is playing Skywrath Mage, so I see what you're talking about now, Mott. And it's SM playing Medusa.
Yeah, also that's going to be kind of confusing. Let's see, where are these banners? All right, go to the safe lane, tier 1 tower for the Radiant side, and just look at the banners they have real quick. Safe
lane, tier 1 tower. Okay, that is a topless, topless guy. These kids are class acts over here.
Yeah, great stuff coming out from them. Meanwhile, on the side of Root Gaming, tell me the Fat Firefly being pretty aggressive here on Stout early on in the game, and he's dishing out the damage already, but he'll be playing your off-lane Bat Rider. Mid lane Talera will be on your Ogre. Safe lane Lycus on your Rubik. Top lane, it'll be your boy JC with the other tag, Mike Chan Dota, hashtag first of his name on the Undying, and Ink Dota playing the Anti-Mage.
This is going to be fun. You can already see the spunky behavior in the air for these two teams. I'm expecting a nice clash, but overall a fantastic time here. So Medusa going to be toe-to-toe with your Talera Ogre Magi. This should be interesting. He loves to go instantly for the Agnum Scepter and just get a hold of that secondary Fire Blast, and people really underestimate how the potential he has in lane. You got to remember, such high armor. He's got 7 armor, great regen, 2.5 regen now, and he's not going to be afraid to take some tower hits. He's not going to be afraid to walk up and club you in the ugly Medusa face. So definitely something to look out for. Top, though, we will have to keep an eye on. It's a 2v2, but they're looking to be pretty aggressive, it looks like, on the side of Root. You have your Undying lingering in, but it's very, very hard to take this side down. You got your Centaur, who's already tanking enough as it is, but with Lust nearby on your Abaddon, he is going to be doing a fantastic job, I would imagine, as your babysitter.
It really just comes down to positioning. I don't think Infinity +4 should get caught out here. As long as they're pulling using the camp into the lane, which the Radiant Offlane has that luxury. I mean, you could decay and throw down a Tombstone occasionally, but you're not going to be getting that many levels here from Root unless you're pulling consistently, which right now they're just... I mean, you look at your boy JC, he's just sitting here harassing Lost.
Oh, boy. Sorry, I had a still also... I still had a font caption up talking about when I was testing the audio from last night. We're off to a fantastic start, Mott. Don't worry. On my end, the production is just going swimmingly, I would assume. Anyway, still going on through. Yeah, they're still harassing it out. Centaur's looking to go on in, but he is ballsy as ever, and he's going to go ahead and shuffle back. Even K-Pop came upstairs. He was going to yell at me, but I told him I got it.
See, that's the luxury, though. At least, like, you're not sitting there for, like, an hour, and you're like, oh, by the way, the draft screen's still up. And you're like, gosh, crap. But, nope. Looking for MJW. I don't think they'll find it. Yeah, like, they only have telekinesis. Even, like, level 1 Fable, it's not going to do nearly enough damage to MJW. Like, Tombstone, not available. There's no real damage coming out from Ink. So this lane is really just about making sure Ink gets farm. And, I mean, he's okay. He's sitting at 9 last hits. But the big thing is mid lane. Soger, 12 last hits. Damn.
Yeah, man, he's not afraid. He's going to go toe-to-toe. Mr. McGee know what it's like to get some creeps. You better look out, buddy. He's going to build up. Right now he's going with the 2-2-0. We'll see. I'm trying to remember. Sometimes he builds up the Fire Blast early on to try to go with the roll of the dice because this guy loves his RNG. Meanwhile, top lane, though, here's your first real tift happening here. They're making it go on Centaur. The telekinesis pops out, but there's your shield right there. Not going to allow any additional aggression, but it's all about Ink. Holy crap, he just took a lot of damage. You got to be careful right there as he's trying desperately to make sure he maintains a quota of CS, but while that happens, I do miss a fantastic first blood, of course. On the bottom, it is Tubby the Fat who gets caught out from the brew and will fall.
That's actually huge for Frankie. He's got 1,100 gold. He buys up his stick real quick, and he's feeling it right now, so that's pretty good. MJW throws in the double edge. Ink Dota, Spill Shield's one of the best passives in the game to get early. Like, that's 26% magic resistance coming out. You don't think that's going to be pretty good against double edge? Come on, man. I think you should have got that instead of the extra point and blink, but I guess he gets it now, so it's okay. But he could have avoided a lot of that damage, though, so...
All right, well... You know, looking good so far. Tubby the Fat, he's going to need to recover. He's got a quota to meet on this Bat Rider. He's got to get a hold of that Blink Dagger, so he's fallen a bit behind. But Infinity, man, he is doing a pounding here in the bottom lane. 18 and 15 denies. And you got to remember, in this latest patch, those denies mean so much more. So Bat Rider is really losing a lot. He's only 5-0. When you compare that to Infinity's offlaner, the Centaur, who's the main one, he's got 15-1. So it's a very rough bottom lane experience right now for Root Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, they're dual laning in the top lane, and the Centaur has just as much experience as Tubby does. We're very close to it anyways, so that's really becoming an issue. And they're not really stacking for him either, which is kind of a problem. But he can head over to the Radiant jungle and find some farm there. But, yeah, I mean, this is really, really going pretty well for Infinity +4. They're going to have to try to shut down the Anti-Mage somehow, but... I mean, right now, they're not too concerned. I mean, MJW is getting plenty of farm. He's going to have his Tranquils up soon and then maybe get a Blink early on, so...
We'll see. We could see a potential tiff. Lycus is looking to roll on in, and they're going to try to put their attention here on Centaur once more. But Abaddon's right there. He's just going to wait out for the shield. They're trying to work on the the finicky timing, but nothing's going to come of it. And that's pretty much the story. It's going pretty solid, I would say, here for Infinity's laning phase. Maybe Ogre is slightly coming out on top in the mid lane against Medusa, but I don't think SN minds this too much. Tubby was paying a lot of attention to that mid lane as well. He now finally makes his return to the bottom.
Top lane.
But top lane, yeah, they're still going at it. You can't look away for a moment. The Golden Tombstone's going to be dropped, and now they're making a move on Lust. But here comes Sna, jumping on in. Abaddon will end up falling. A big double-edged back, but that's going to end up being his downfall as he also goes down to the hands of your boy JC. Root fire back now and pull ahead 2-1.
There was like 4 decay stacks on your poor JC, so that's a lot of strength gone. And he just hits like a truck. Plus his Tombstone, obviously, Lycus gets in there.
Bottom lane, though, they're making it go on Tubby. Tubby thought he had the opportunity because he had 5 stacks build up. But Infinity's like, no problem. I'm going to pull out the bare necessities. He drops down the Primal Split and quickly makes mincemeat of that Bat Rider. And he goes down immediately. He is going to be farming out of control. He easily has his Blink Dagger right now, and he's going to go over and make a quick purchase, and there it is.
That's actually just ridiculous. That's a 6-minute Blink Dagger coming out from Infinity. That's first blood plus another kill, and on top of that, 34 last hits. That's actually just unbelievable. And this is going to be that they're going to get involved pretty early on in fighting here. I mean, he can still go in Tubby.
Oh, man, no respect right now. He stops him with the clap. He's going to smack him in the back end a few times. This is going to force him to pull out the Delta Miles right now, get up in the air and fly back just a bit further and try to zone him out. But he's got to be careful. He's got to be real careful about this one. You got to remember, he has a blink. He'll jump in, get a quick crit strike, and make a go. But there's going to be a clash here at the bottom. They're trying to get the regen. Tubby does grab it first, puts it in that bottle, and retreats up to the north. Nice quick snag from him to take that away from Medusa, but still, he is very, very behind this off lane. He might need to consider at some point making sure the jungle's going to be stacked up for him so he can get that Blink Dagger, but right now there are only one stack, and it's with stupid Mud Golems, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the problem. Top lane, Aquatic Shield, there's going to go for the Tombstone Double Edge. They easily bring down the Undying, but here we go. Ink's jumping and TP away from Lust right now. Fire Blast coming in just the last second from Tolera. The Ogre's here. It's all Ogre, my friends.
Yep, and he's moving on through. And also, Tolera's going to get the burning kill on the Chicken Man. That's a double kill for your Tolera Ogre Magi. The one lane that has been promising thus far for Root Gaming still looking to come on back. Your boy JC did fill in the mid lane. He's got to get that solo XP. He would love to get up a few more levels, up to that level 6, and really make it worth his while. But already, you see the Ogre. He's starting to pull in the dumbbells. He's lifting a bit more, and he's looking pretty good. And there's your point booster. I told you, man, he's going to go right for the Agnums. He wants to snowball out of control and kind of leave space. That way they kind of focus their attention on this Ogre and how much impact he's having. And hopefully by that point, Ink Dota is finding his farm on the side to really come out for the final curtain.
I mean, he already has his Voidstone or Ring of Health. He can get his Voidstone next if he wants. He'll probably buy his Claymore next. Meanwhile, they actually got a solo kill bottom for Tubby the Fat, so he finally gets revenge on Infinity. He was left alone. He actually didn't have his split up. He has it now. And he's going to head mid right now. Looks like they're going for a kill here on Tolera.
Oh, yeah. They'd love to get this over. They jump in. They clap. He doesn't have much mana. This is going to be an easy getaway. But, man, what a convenient multicast. And here comes your boy JC. Drops down the Tombstone, but the long ball rock does catch him on the backhand side. He's desperately trying to run. No, he wants the bounty room, but it's not going to happen. He does get it, but still, the Bears are on the hunt right now. Man, this guy could soak up some damage. He really makes him sweat for it, but eventually he does go down. They work so hard, and that's the thing with Ogre, man. He could take a licking and keep on kicking, but right there he does go down. They're still on the hunt, though. They want to get a hold of this Undying. JC retreats up to the north, and they will not pursue. So Infinity grab another kill for themselves. Your new score is going to be 4 for 5, just taking a very early glance at the net worth chart. It was well in favor of Root Gaming just based on the farm aspect alone, and it's quickly, slowly starting to go back towards Infinity's favor.
Yeah, that's a big kill, obviously. I mean, that's a high-value target. He's the second most net worth in the game, Tolera does. But again, you talk about how tanky he is. That means that you can't get those kills on your boy JC and Lycus. But they do smoke up Sna in the top lane. MJW, no blink yet, but he does have Stampede. And the question is, can they kill Ink? They have to Ancient Seal him, I think, to be able to bring him down, and they will do so. Stampede goes, top lane, trying to juke. He's actually just going to get out. Maybe double edge, not enough damage here. Tombstone's up. Here comes Infinity, though. Mana Void, not enough damage coming out from Ink Dota to get that kill. Aquatic Shield and MJW, and they'll bring this Tombstone down quickly.
There's going to be some quick gold for him if they like. Lycus is lingering nearby on his Rubik. He's not yet level 6, though, but ultimately no one will fall. Just a little bit of extra gold for them. And back on mid lane, Medusa's been so quiet here. You know, got the Aquila, got her phase boots under control. 47 CS for her. She's up there right with Anti-Mage, played by Ink Dota. Oh, the hoof stomp will whiff, though, on that top lane. They can't quite get a hold of Ink. They would have loved to. They're committing 4 people up here to try to get something happening. They realize it's taking a little too long, and they quickly peace out. Infinity uses that blink to get out a little bit quicker. Maybe we'll make a swing through the mid lane here, but he is going to wait to see what room pops up. This could definitely make the decision whether or not it's a good time to get aggressive.
I mean, I love the playstyle from Infinity. They get that Blink Dagger so early that you have to use it to your utmost potential here, and that means just trying to find kills all the map. Meanwhile,
bottom lane, Tubby trying to get a hold of Sna. Sna says, no thank you, sir, and he quickly moves up, going for a TP. Will get out. They're not going to commit over any sort of primal split. Not in cooldown, obviously, but the clap obviously not going to prevent him from that, so he quickly makes the quick retreat and will start migrating up towards the north. He's got about 2k gold. He needs a little bit more. A stack or two should be able to make him secure that Blink Dagger and then look to try to turn the game for Root Gaming. Now, they want to go on the initiative. They want to get some pickoffs happening. It's been a little too aggressive here from Infinity. I mean, but props to them for making that aggression happen because they also want to stir attention elsewhere. Their Medusa is just constantly farming out in this mid lane. It hasn't been yet that Rune Gaming has kind of come on her and just hoped to take her down and prevent her from continuing to build on up, because later in the game, a toe-to-toe between Anti-Mage and Medusa can be a bit iffy. Yeah, Anti-Mage is kind of getting rid of her excessive mana pool, but with Stone Gaze, that can kind of cause problems with a backup of support who have a reasonable amount of disable too. It can be a bit tricky.
Yeah, I mean, it's Clash of the Titans. You
Dire's
probably give
bottom
the favor
tower
to
is under
Anti-Mage
attack.
because he does have the mana burn coming out the mana break. But I don't know. It's still questionable. And with the amount of lockdown they'll have from MJW, from the Brewmaster as well. I mean, speaking of MJW, he almost has his Blink Dagger in the offlane. So, yeah, this is definitely, I think, gone pretty well, considering, you know, he doesn't have to go back to the
Dire's
jungle.
bottom
He's set up
tower
here in the
is
top
under
lane. He's
attack.
disrupted Anti-Mage a bit. Batrider does get his blink, but that's kind of late for back, considering he has it 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Obviously, he has to use the jungle stacks there, but MJW will have his soon. In fact, he picks it up right now.
There's your percussive shot, flies out. You're not going to look to pursue on Ink, though. He does have to be
Dire's
cautious.
bottom
That
tower
Ancient
is
Seal
under attack.
could keep him in his place. And touching with Skywrath, he's only got it level 1. He's doing with the more of the traditional, just getting Arcane Bolt up. Want to be able to spam out that big damage at a low mana cost. And, you know, for mid lane, Talera, he's got 2 components now of his Agnems. One more is on the way, so he's about 800 gold off from completing out that Agnems, getting that secondary Fire Blast, and that's when things get real exciting for him. But he's got to hope that the RNG is in his favor to be able to bring it out. I mean, even with an Agnems, this hero does require a lot of mana to work with, and if he does run out in a battle, he really has nothing much else to contribute. So it's something to always look out for, but just based on what I've seen in the past, he seems to somehow make it work to his benefit, so we'll have to see, though, as he looks to get much closer to
Dire's
completing it on the
bottom
side of
tower is
Medusa.
under attack.
She's got already 1,600 gold.
Dire's
It's like I just checked in
structures
on her,
are
and she only
fortified.
had about 300 or 400, so she's got the farm coming in her
Dire's
favor.
bottom tower
Bottom lane, we're
has
going to see a
fallen.
tower fall. I believe that's actually the first tower of the game, and it's going to go in favor of Infinity, and now they're going to make a rotation to the top. They want to get a hold of this Anti-Mage if possible.
I mean, they have the Blink Dagger now from JW, but there's a really well-placed Dire Observer Ward here, so they're going to see the rotation if Infinity walks up and doesn't have the smoke, which he doesn't. So they're going to know that he's here. They're going to pick it out immediately, and they'll rotate everyone towards mid and maybe try to go on SN.
It's mid, though, yeah. He's going to make use of that Blink Dagger. Tubby the Fat pulling on back. The Medusa, can they get her down in time? Quick rotation from MJW, the jump in, hoof stomp. Slows their roll, but now they turn their attention on him. He pulls out the Stampede. He can't make it back. Centaur does fall, and so does Medusa. So nice. 2-man takedown right there, as it looked like Infinity were just desperately trying to defend out their prized queen in the mid lane. They end up losing too. Root Gaming get a nice promising turnaround, coming on top of Tubby the Fat, getting a hold of his Blink Dagger.
That is 150 gold of an Observer Ward paying off with 2 kills right there. That's that top Observer Ward that I was talking about in lane, because they noticed that they had the Brewmaster up top. They realized that he had to TP in from bottom lane to get there quickly. So they TP mid, realized that there's not going to be time for them to rotate over and fight. And they take 2 quick kills off the back end of Brute, which is just unbelievable play and really good play calling coming out from their leader and pretty much the entire squad of Brute. Now, how much does that give towards Ink Dota? What does he get out of that exchange? He was looking to try to come fight mid as well, but he heads back top. He finishes up his Perseverance. He's got, obviously, his Treads, but might get fought on, but he does, again, see this Observer Ward here. It is going to finally get countered as they realize quickly, like, all right, that screwed us over last time.
Yeah, but
We
it
need to figure
definitely,
something out.
Bottom
it definitely
tower
worked to
is
their
under
benefit. But they
attack.
quickly rotate through. They're going to see Ink over here. He's got to be cautious. Quickly. No, he can't get the blink off. He gets silenced. Stomp down. Slam a jamma. Damn, man. Ink Dota, see you later. Unfortunately, he will end up falling. They also take down the Abaddon, it looks like, in that mid lane, and they're now putting their attention towards Medusa. Not 1, but 2 Fire Blasts now in the belt of Talera. But here's your turnaround. Here comes the Primal Split. Now they're putting their attention towards Brew. They jump on past. They want Lycus as well. They want to make it a 2-for-1 special if possible. Talera ends up going down, and now their assault turns towards the Rubik. But Tubby the Fat jumps in, gets a nice lasso on Medusa, but ultimately will be cycloned in the air. Is it going to be enough to save Rubik? He is still on the retreat, and Infinity is still on the hunt. Precious little prey, I got you. Slams him down. You cannot hide behind the secret shop, sir. And it's going to be a 2-4-0 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, Mana Shield is actually just ridiculous. Double Fire Blast into SN does pretty much no damage. And they're still going on your boy's AC. The tag, Mike Shandota. That is not going to save you now. They're going to back away from the Tombstone. They don't want to try to take it down as they're underneath the Tier 1 tower in that mid lane. 3, I think, for nothing trade there, or exchange, or whatever you want to call it. And Infinity will take the nice little advantage, while Ink is still farming top 11.
He's got to get a hold of that Battle Fury.
Dire's
He
middle
wants to
tower
accelerate
is
that
under
farm
attack.
that much further, but of course, The shortcomings of going right for the Battle Fury is that he doesn't have too much defense. He still has very, very weak life pool. The boy needs to get to the gym. He needs to lift a little bit more because if he gets caught out with that Ancient Seal like we already saw, that Mystic Flare combo follow-up is pretty much going to be the end of him. So he definitely needs to get it together, get more of those items online, and be able to have a stand so that when he finally finishes farming, he can come out and just kind of bring it together for Root and try to take it home. But you can almost say the same for Medusa. But Medusa has the benefit of that Mana Shield, which we already saw works very, very nice for her. It looks like she is going to get a hold of a reliable Yasha to start things off, but once she starts building up more stats, like your Lincolns, it gets very, very hard to bring her down.
Yeah, I mean, it's already tough to kill her. So, I mean, any other item is just going to be that much more difficult to bring her down with. So, Tubby the Fat has to stop going on SN and try to find another target. Unfortunately, he just missed now roaming away, but he might spot him now, although his Firefly is going to be on cooldown pretty soon. And everyone else is going mad, as you see Mike Chan or your boy JC rather getting caught out.
Oh, Undying. You're dead. Take him down. They take the tower. They pull out the Stampede. They want more, baby. Concussive shot lands on Tubby the Fat, and he quickly goes for a retreat. They're not going to be able to catch up with him, it looks like. Nope. Just as I say that, nice blink across. They stun him down. Mystic Flare, very low. Arcane Bolt's going to connect. It's going to bring him low. There's a second one. Will it work? No, it's not enough. He barely lives. About 8 life. Mana Void. Ink Dota wants to stop Centaur. Oh no, though. This could be it. Arcane Bolt, it's a long ball. Ogre McGee also comes in, takes down Skywrath, and Tubby the Fat does end up falling. Meanwhile, the clash still goes. It's a rumble in the jungle, if you will. Stonegaze going to be popped out from Medusa, trying to zone him back. Tolera moves in, gets cycloned up, though, from the Bear. Bear looking to go on back. Infinity trying to zone back the rest of Root Gaming as much as possible as they're still on hot pursuit. A lot of mana now depleted here. Cyclone once again going to throw Undying up in the air. Ink Dota still on pursuit. And Tolera with not much mana. This is the problem we were talking about. He still can always pull out that secondary. Fire Blast does. Borrowed Time going to be pulled out. Now Ink Dota might have gone too far. They're trying to save him with the heal. He can barely get away. Not going to have enough for Blink, though, and he can't get out. He does end up falling. Rubik does steal the Drunken Haze, but man, this is a girthy one. They keep on continuing as Lycus is desperately trying to hide up and behind the tower, but he's got no more mana. This Rubik's going to fall. One more snake, but nope. It's going to be a bad, and Lust jumps in with a nice little KS right there. Meanwhile, Tubby the Fat does get a hold of Infinity. Pulls him all the way back, but there's no follow-up there, my friend. What damage are you going to be doing with that? Now they might just turn their attention on him. They get a clap slam, and he's going to go down. Oh, this got so ugly so quick for Root, and they're not done yet. Tolera moves in from the south, gets a hold of Skywrath Mage with that multi, and takes him down. In the end, it looks like a 3-for-1, but it was more than that. It was a 4-for-1.
More. I mean, like, just that entire fight was so difficult to keep track of. In the beginning, like, there were 2 dead for Infinity. They backed up. They retreated to their own Tier 1 tower. They got TPs back into fight. Ink had no mana. He couldn't blink away. Even with the Tread Swap to Int Treads, he couldn't blink away with the mana that he had. So they kill him. They keep going. They lasso up Infinity. They lose their Undying because of that. They lose their Batrider because of that. They lose so much out of that. And this just
there's
shows
a tift in the bottom as the rune does pop up. Now Tolera, once again with no mana. These are the drawbacks now. Even with your Ogre, you may have an Agnums, but his mana pool is so flimsy. He needs to find the time to get back and kind of regen that up. I mean, sometimes you see other Ogres considering more getting the Yules, getting the Force Staff, something that can bring his mana pool up quicker, but for Tolera, I know he prioritizes getting a hold of that secondary Fire Blast, wants to be able to put out as much damage and lockdown as possible, but these are just the shortcomings that come with that kind of a build. But look at this. It's not going to get much better. Yeah, his mobility is going to be there, so if he does need to retreat out or move on in quicker, he's got to hold these boots of travel now, but we'll see if it ends up working out. Moving on forward down this mid lane, it's Infinity. You got SN here with the Mana Shield up, just kind of laying in the right clicks onto this tower. It forces them to pull out the glyph.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I feel like if you want to have better mobility, I agree. Like a Force Staff, even a Blink Dagger is better in that situation. But I mean, he's not really the best split push in the world, so it's bad. Meanwhile, double multicast at 50. Fire Blasted again. There's the Tombstone, but there you go. Message says, wow. Let's get out of here, guys.
They pull everything out to get away from that one just in case. Stone Gaze and Stampede, and see you later as they just ditch out that mid lane. They do end up taking, though, their objective. The Tier 2 will fall. Lycus is coming in from behind here. Runs into... Oh, he gets a hold of Stampede. That's a nice little grab for him, I suppose, as they double back, and maybe they'll try to use that to advantage in an engagement, possibly here in the mid lane. They have done no damage at all to this mid-tier 1 tower, so Root Gaming would love to get a hold of a little more gold for their team if possible, but they are just surrounding this mid lane right now like vultures.
I mean, there's just the team fighting of Root is not there in comparison to that of Infinity. Like, even Medusa has team fighting abilities, and they're gonna use it on Talera. I don't know why you're there, buddy. You just got obliterated. Oh my God, there was an ogre there, but he's gone now. So.
Condolences to Ogre. Send my wishes to his Ogre wife and family and kids, and he'll live to fight another day, but ultimately will fall, and that Boots of Travel is not going to help you there, buddy. I agree. I mean, I've seen him even before pick up the Blink Dagger. I feel like it adds a bit more as far as the mobility, heavy initiation, and then if you do get caught out like that, you possibly could make a quick escape. Force Staff obviously would be there and could also help out not only yourself but your allies, especially when going against a Skywrath Mage. That Mystic Flare could be easily avoided with a Force Staff and just forces him to consume all that mana for nothing. So I can't help but question the build. We'll have to see though if it ends up working to his benefit, and maybe he can look to farm up something similar, you know, as the game goes on. But more attention slowly going to be on their Ink Dota anti-mage to try to pull it back for their team. It looks like he's made an investment. It is going to be a reliable Yasha. The early makings of a Manta, but we'll have to see if he decides to pull something out like your BKB. I think it would be pretty helpful for them. It avoids everything Skywrath Mage has to offer. Centaur's Stun, and just some extra little necessities here and there, and adding some survivability is something he should look for.
The problem I have is just Essence so far ahead now. I mean, not so far. He's only like 1,000 in terms of net worth, but it just feels like he's out farming him. They're outplaying them in terms of team fighting, like I talked about earlier. They are going to look for a gank. They smoke up with Root, Tubby the Fat, and Lycus. They're going to go right past enemy's room, but they're going to stampede.
They want the big pinball Medusa. They're pulling her all the way up to the edge right here, and they're going to try to zone her in. There's one multi. There's a 3x multi, and she goes down. So the burst potential is there if they can focus fire someone. But speaking of focus fire, they focus fire the other core on the other side of the world. So it's a core for a core here from both teams. The hitmen are out, and they're getting stuff done.
I don't know why Lycus decided to spell steal a Medusa when he had Stampede. That was a bit questionable. He got split shot. I don't know how much that's going to help you, buddy, but I don't know. That's just a bit questionable. Talara's going to get caught out.
Yeah, they see him. Ancient Seal's going to prevent him from getting out lockdown, but he's a big boy. He's going to try to tank it up, but he can't take up a versus 3 without help nearby. He will go down again. So, with that said, still I feel like Infinity are slightly coming out. Yeah, they're behind on kills, 18 to 12, but as far as you see on the net worth, it's 5K and slowly climbing in their favor. As soon as they can create enough space for their team and ward out probably the bottom, they'll quickly get a hold of a Roche pickoff, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is just classic choking tactics, making sure you strangle the enemy team so you cannot get farm in your own jungle, especially with this tier 2 tower gone in the top lane and with a lot of wards committed here into the jungle. This is really good. However, Tubby, very close.
Whoops. Top tower has fallen.
Also, I like the fact that Lost picks Beul Scepter. That's huge in this game against the Bat Rider, and he's also just the fastest man alive. He's on a horse. He's speedy as all hell.
Oh, yeah.
He's zooming.
I love it. Yeah, I believe, PPD as well is a big advocate of getting a hold of the Yules on your dark and gloomy night. You know, and it certainly helps out so much. When you're going against a Bat, you're going against a Faceless Void, anyone you need to really isolate from bringing out heavy damage or locking down a fellow teammate in need, he's going to be right there to help out, and it's a great counter to, the heavy initiation that Tubby the Fat will bring. So, good game plan happening here for Infinity, good item progression on their side. We've already been questioning Root Gaming's item progression, and just more and more the pressure could build up here on Ink Dota to bring it back. He's farming in the enemy jungle right now, but they spot him out. They jump in. They do get a stun off. Skywrath Mage is going to be there, of course, with the silence and with the Mystic Flare, and he quickly goes down. My friend, you are in the wrong neighborhood, and Infinity will make you pay. And they're not done yet. They're looking to press on forward, but no, they're not going to isolate anyone out. Maybe if he was close enough, he could have got a Yules on that Rubik, and then they could have maybe taken him down, but it looks like it might have just been out of range.
I mean, listen, I know like when I say that your own jungle is like warded and not really safe to farm, that doesn't mean go to the enemy jungle when they have 2 observer wards right near the entrance and you walk right through them. So I don't know, Ink making some more questionable moves here in this lane, but I mean, yeah, him going down again like that right after he died in the top lane is really bad because SN all the while continues to farm up. He bought something that's his full Manta style. Actually, excuse me. Looks like he's going for a Lincoln Sphere as I saw the Ultimate Orb. He actually just needs the Perseverance now. Meanwhile, they're going to catch that Talera.
Yeah, it's going to work. They want to get Talera. He's just by himself as well. Root Gaming are just out past their leash and just each to their own right here. And this is a 3v1. And, Infinity's like, how you doing, buddy? You want me to just body block you real quick? We can even make this work to our while. I mean, they were trying to see if maybe they can get SN the last hit in. But as he gets further and further away with the help of that Bloodlust and the Boots of Travel, Lust is just like, I'll finish him off and pops out that Mist Coil and gets it done. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're going for Lycus. Lycus does have the shield that he's stolen, but that shield's not going to help out too much. Ink Dota comes in. Arcane Bolt finishes the job, though, from Skywrath. Nice grab. Meanwhile, Talera's back. Multi on 2. He wants the Birdman. Looking to move on through. Can he get a hold of him? Ink Dota's there to clean on up, and they get it. It's your boy JC who grabs it. Oh, another multi. Gets on Centaur. They're trying to turn on the back of a buyback here from Talera. Now Ink Dota's under pressure. Brewmaster Split looking to pursue on through. Meanwhile, back and behind, they do take down the Abaddon as well. So quickly, turning towards Root Gaming's favor. This Primal Split is going to conclude in just a moment. But your boy JC is very low. Gets the heal off right there. Meanwhile, they're turning their attention to the north on Medusa. She is quickly falling. There's your AM counter working to its benefit. And now they want Infinity. This could be a 5-man takedown. And it will be Root Gaming. Just as we're starting to criticize the game plan from them, somehow it just falls into their lap. A perfect 5-man wipe with the benefit of that buyback from Talera. And now they just segue themselves into the Roche pit. Nice turnaround for them. And there's a nice swing of XP and some gold.
That was some pretty throwy stuff there. I'm not going to lie. As good as that was from Root, especially the buyback from Talera and some of the plays they made in that situation, Infinity +4 just kind of streamed in one by one after the Primal Split came out. They already lost MJW and the Centaur. Snob was going down to the Skywrath Mage, and they just decided to fight with Split like 3 versus 5.
Oh! I'm dying. See you later. Quick jump in, double edge, gets it done, but they actually have to pull out the Stampede and make sure he does properly get away, so they lose his support. But they do secure the Roche for it, so I don't think it's going to be too terrible for Root Gaming there, securing that. Ink Dota will now benefit from that extra life. He can look to farm on up, feel a little bit safer about it, and try to finish out what looks like his Yasha, and then hopefully can build up a little extra meat on the bones so that when he does get caught out, he can live through the initial onslaught and then live to fight on. But meanwhile, Infinity, they're not done with their aggression yet. They're scouting out the jungle, still on the back of that OBS. In fact, they plant another OBS in its place just for when the first one does expire. It's been working out so well for them, you know, making Root second guess what kind of farm they can do, even on their own side, as Ink Dota right there is, you know, still questioning as far as what's going to be safe and what's not.
So after that fight in Roshan, Infinity go down from 7,500 net worth lead to about 2.5k. So again, 6.82 things. Not that big. I still feel like Infinity +4, if they play this right, can take the victory. However, the movement Root are making now that Ink has pretty much his core items is or very close to his core items are looking pretty solid here, and he's caught back up pretty well. Experience-wise, it's even. I mean, it's actually just even in terms of heroes levels. Plus, you get the makeup now for your boy JC, and the tankiness of the Ogre Magi only increases from here on out. Like, now it's even harder to kill some of these heroes, so and they're making some really good movements, too.
You can never count out the tenacity that Root Gaming have. I've seen them on the last final match of their qualifier run. It looked like we were going to be going to a game number 3, but somehow they pulled it out, and they came back on the back of a Spectre right at the end, just going for all Megas at once. You know, so this is a team that is not going to be throwing in the towel too early. They're not going to feel down. Their morale will always be at a nice level where they feel comfortable enough to keep on fighting and just look for the comeback, even when it's very, very dire. They were down, I believe, 1, maybe 2 sets of racks in that particular game. So you can never count out the tenacity of players, and especially younger teams who are looking to make a name for themselves. Most of them would kind of just be like, well, we're clearly going against a better opponent. You know, we'll just kind of do the best we can. Root Gaming, they're fighters. They'll go to the end. Infinity, though, they're also very, very strong, individually talented players. This is their first match in the Summit 2. They want to make a strong appearance. They want to make a real strong showing and show why they're worth the straight invite into the America region instead of having to go through qualifiers. So right now they're pushing down the bottom. They want to take more objectives. It looks like Root Gaming might fight right back.
Yeah, I mean, Ink now with Bloodlust on him, he's pretty difficult to bring down move speed-wise, attack speed-wise. He's going to hit like a truck. And they still don't have the Link Sphere. Actually, no, the Link Sphere is there for the Medusa, but she's probably going to go for Manta Style next. And also, his Soul Cuirass is being built by Frankie. He has Plate Mail and the Hyperstone, so he just needs the Chainmail. Is that an illusion? Nope, that's the real one.
They're looking to engage. You got to remember, though, Ink Dota, he'll probably just kind of let the first life go. We got 2 more minutes. Remember, it's 5 minutes now instead of the 6 minutes it was previously in 6.81, so they want to make an engagement, so it's worth it. But he doesn't have to worry too much about expending a lot of his spells and items. He'll reserve, I would imagine, the Manta Style in case an Ancient Seal does come off on his follow-up life, and that way he'll be able to move on and fight it out. But still, very persistent Infinity Squad, pushing down this bottom lane, having Medusa lead out the front, try and take advantage of a good Stone Gauge. She's near 2k now. You know, next item progression could be questionable as far as maybe looking to build up a little bit of extra damage. Maybe a Scotty will be in the mix. You know, we'll have to see. That's typically a favorable grab for most. Ooh, Tubby moves in, but they quickly pull back. But Stampede now as they push on in. Ink Dota now under pressure, jump in, clap, Mystic Flare. He quickly tries to hop out of that one and jumps right behind, uses the Manta to get away from that bind, but Stone Gaze catches on lots here. Root Gaming all isolated. That damage amplifier is going to go down right now, and your boy JC is quickly dwindling down. The Undying will fall. Now they turn their attention back. Abaddon Mingles to get out there. There's your first life going to be fallen right there for Ink Dota. He will come back to fight on, but I think Infinity are going to take what they can and pull back. They're very low on resources here, and Root Gaming pull back. Lycus now helping out the Bat Rider. Tubby the Fat locks down Infinity, but here comes help. Nolte does catch him in, brings him down, but he's a big boy. He can take in a first Fire Blast. Cyclone going to be thrown up right there, the Yules, but oh man, they end up taking down Infinity. Now they turn their attention towards MJW, and he also goes down. A double kill for Tubby the Fat on your Bat Rider, makes it a 2-for-1 all day. Root Gaming hold the tower and get the upper hand on that fight when it's done, at the expense of using that Aegis.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they don't have that Aegis, that fight is drastically different. Obviously, I mean, you saw the anti-mage go down in the front. He's dead. They don't have as much right-click or even just damage in general to bring anybody down. MJW with a bit of a questionable play trying to save Infinity. He could have just backed up and probably stayed alive, but he was already pretty low. So he goes in. They both die. They only get the Undying plus the Aegis out of that. Definitely not a favorable trade. And Ink Dota just gets that much more money. Again, that was also a great Stoneform team like you talked about, and some really good positionings from both squads, but just not enough for Infinity to take the fight in their favor. So Manta is now done. With the Lincoln Sphere, it gets that much tougher to bring down the Medusa, but you can say the same thing about the Anti-Mage down, who will, I imagine, build for a bit of a tanky item next. I mean, he needs a little bit more beefiness on his bones here before he really starts going to town on some people.
Yep, and remember, these are all best of ones. It's not going to be a best of 3-1 where you kind of can feel it out. Each of these matches do matter if you want to try to make it into the playoff bracket and try to make your way into the LAN. Now, they are having a bit of a tiff here as Infinity will farm up. The giant Mud Golem stack's happening right here. He's got his Vlads. He's going to be the utility, the aura holder for his team. He's got the Blink, and it looks like he might be building towards potentially an AC on his team, or maybe a Shivas. You know,
I would say AC. He has a Hyperstone.
Oh, he does.
It says owned by nothing on the courier, but I'm pretty sure that's Infinity's. I don't see anyone else building towards that.
All right, good. Extra Siege. I love this because it's quickly becoming, you know, the standard that Brews, who used to once always favor getting a hold of the Agnums, now we're moving into more utility, more aura build. And I think it's definitely working for their benefit instead of just trying to take the most out of their primal split, because not always going to have it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Tubby the Fat gets hold of the big beef boy. Centaur pulls him all the way back, and they're going to try to circle him about. Nice 4-staff save, though. Does push him down. He pulls out the Stampede, only a 2x multi. The shield, they're pulling out everything they can to save their offlaner here, but they can't. He falls. Stone Gaze, though, as Medusa shovels in, and they're going to look right away. Meanwhile, Brew Infinity going to pull it back, trying to take down anyone possible, but Talera, happy to go toe-to-toe, pulls out a multi, but still she soaks it all up with that sweet, sweet mana shield. Now Talera under pressure, Mystic Flare right in front of him. He quickly dodges to the left and retreats out. Man, that Ogre can take a punch. He keeps on moving back, even with that earned negative charge from above. A Primal Split's been stolen by Lycus. We'll see if he pulls it out. Ink Dota now, though, trying to get away. Can he get the blink off? He can. He retreats up to the right-hand side, and Tubby the Fat gets a nice pick-off right there on Skywrath Mage from behind, and they still look to go on maybe this Medusa. Abaddon's still up, pulls out a bit more mana to help her with the shield. They retreat on back, and now attention on Infinity, who's trying to go off to the west side right now. There's that split from Rubik. A taste of your own medicine, sir. The bare necessities are out. They actually turn away from Infinity, know they're going to finish that off, and turn their attention towards Abaddon. Double Cyclone, sir. How's the weather doing? Now Lust gets locked up, and immediately it gets countered back. Borrowed time. A third Cyclone. Jesus Christ, this guy doesn't even know what the ground feels like anymore. He'll have to fall back in. Centaur's already back from the dead. And here comes Talera. Nice multi. A 4x multi. Follows it up with no multi on that one. And now looking, Centaur still again locked down. Tubby the Fat cleans up another in the meanwhile. And Centaur might fall again. He will. Tubby the Fat on this Bat Rider is just getting all the last hits in. Double kill for him. Pushing him well on the head. 6, 5, and 7 for him. They clean out 3, probably what, 4 counting the buyback. Oh, Skywrath Mage went down. Make it 5. Holy tamale, mod.
This game just got super manly within the past like 10 or so minutes. Just like fights for days. That was a lot of fun to watch, and I gotta say, great steal from Lycus. The Cyclones were pretty crazy. The most important thing is the beginning of that engagement. Split shot is actually just countered pretty heavily by the Undying Tombstone. I mean, Essed can't deal out any of the damage to actual heroes. He's just killing zombies for days. They're like, well, that's great, but that doesn't give me hero kills. It's really what I want. So SN right now has to find some way to deal with that tombstone. And at some point, it feels like they're losing control, and they might have to go for some extra damage here. You maybe have to think of a rapier for Medusa at some point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, their defenses are really strong. They have ways to kind of divert attention elsewhere. Your Abaddon's right there. Centaur, he's just very, very tanky. Medusa, of course, her just natural nature is to be a lot more tanky. But the damage output is a bit questionable for her. It's going to, you know, well, your Ink Dota already has his Battle Fury and Manta. Now he has that BKB, a fresh and shiny one with 10 seconds to work with and nearly 2k gold. This AM is quickly accelerating to a point that might be out of Medusa's grasp. And it's going to be on Infinity to try to shake this off and come up with a new game plan against Root, because I told you, man, the tenacity of these kids are really, really strong right here. I mean, after even a struggling start from the Bat Rider early on the bottom lane, he's right back in the mix, and he's making this Bat Rider work. He now is looking to build towards that BKB, and once those all come online, you know, your Skywrath Mage is not going to be contributing a whole lot in these fights, and he's already flimsy as it is. So, you know, hopefully Infinity, they can look for a way to bounce on back. It's going to be questionable. I would imagine now with Roche up, that could be our next Tift.
And you talk about the tenacity from Root. I've been impressed by not just Root, especially them, but Infinity +4 as well. I mean, both squads have been playing kind of out of their minds. There's been a couple of mistakes positioning-wise in terms of just getting back into the fight, not getting away at certain engagements. But when the team fights do break out, they're impressive to watch. Ink has played pretty out of his mind these past couple of minutes here. Now, there is the Assault Cuirass on Infinity done, so they have a little bit more of armor reduction. They have some extra damage, so it just blow through not only Ink, but the rest of Root as well. But that's one of the problems, is bringing these heroes down. First of all, because Ogre's just the fastest man alive. I kind of question the boots of travel, but with Bloodlust and bots up,
he's all over
they
the
just
place.
like they can't chase him down without.
Uh-oh, your boy JC though, just like that, gets obliterated from Mystic Flare, and now it's gonna break out another rumble. Rubik uses his own bear. It's a bear-on-bear brawl here. Wildlife, what the hell's happening right here? They're going toe-to-toe, and now they're gonna pursue the very fast Ogre like you're talking about. Talera's quickly gonna outrun this Arcane Bolt, but still can't get away, hides in the corner, ends up falling. Double kill for Snaw, and now Ink Dota very low with the BKB still active, trying to get away. Can they catch up to him? They can't. His secondary blink will be available. Lycus will still the clap right there, but he also has to use the Force Staff to get away. So Root Gaming actually don't get the better end of that brawl. They lose two, in which Talera does not have a buyback. He's got a whole minute before he gets back into this one. And Infinity, the first time this game, looked to take high ground and break the base. They're putting attention on this tier 3, and they'd love to slow it down. Jump on past, no Centaur, they blow up the Rubik. And now they're putting their attention on Tubby. Tubby quickly gets out of there, but Ink Dota really needs to slow them down. And it looks like for Infinity, they want to try to focus on at least getting this tier 3 before they have to pull back, and they will get it at the end. But Tubby the Fat jumps in, gets a hold of MJW, pulls him right back into Ink Dota's lap. Oh, but he gets stunned out very nicely. The shield's going to help him in the meantime, and he will be able to make an escape with the benefit of that Force Staff, but SN is not letting up on this Medusa. She is planted here, clearing out the creeps and holding strong. That Mana Shield going to town. The Lincolns will be popped, however, from the Force, jumping from Tubby, trying to slow him, but he might have jumped right into the lap of Infinity. Even MJW with low life would love to continue engagement. There's your Stampede, though. It looks like it's going to be a retreat out, and he will live. Ink Dota, though, in the meantime, does take down the Skywrath Mage, and the rest of Infinity will pull out.
Dire's bottom
That's
barracks
just a
are
huge
under
engagement
attack.
coming out from Infinity +4. The disengage especially just caps things off. And Ink Dota and the rest of the gaming pretty much have to go for Roshan now. They know that their only chances to be able to survive a fight. But with the Assault Cuirass, that was the important go for Infinity
Dire's
+4. That's when they said,
middle
hey,
tower
listen, we're
is
going to
under
man up
attack.
now. We're going to take a fight. We're going to kill everybody. Because the Assault Cuirass is pretty, like, it actually helps them do a surprising amount of damage. And you saw how they just shoot through buildings as well. So if they can do that to not only heroes and buildings as well, then they all of a sudden have this really solid position. But they're not going to let this go, I don't think. Not for free anyway.
They don't have vision, but Abaddon's the scout. He looks to move into C, and he sees a lot of trouble. He gets pulled up, but here comes the rest of Infinity. Meanwhile, Ink and Talera both put their attention on Roche. They do get it done, and quickly Anti-Mage does pick up the Aegis, and now they want to try to fight. It looks like Centaur's going to get caught up, but he pulls out his fresh new BKB and is looking to brawl. Same with Infinity. They try to take down Ink, the Aegis. Not going to be expended yet. He doesn't want to use it too early. He's trying to retreat using the BKB to get away from this one. Now they focus Talera. They pull up the Cyclone. He's trying to retreat out. He only has 240 mana to work with here. They pull out a shield that was stolen from Rubik to help him, and he will be able to get away from that one. Lycus right there with the A with that convenient shield stolen, and it looks like Infinity don't take anyone down, and they lose their Abaddon on trying to take back the engagement by Roche. So still, promising turn there for Root Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, they knew that as soon as Roche died, they had to either choose to fight or get out, and they chose to fight. And they couldn't, they really wanted it so badly. He was sitting at like 20, 50 some odd HP like that, and they just couldn't bring him down. The blink away from the last right click of Medusa to destroying it was huge. He survives with his Aegis in tow. He's got 4.5k HP, and that rider's just around their own jungle scouting things out. So, again, that last fight in the bottom lane was really good for Infinity +4, but...
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Tubby's been spotted. They jump through, they drop a Thundercrap on his head, and now he's going to self-cyclone to get away. Mystic Flare not going to be there, but he can't fly over the edge. He goes down, and he hands out a nice bounty right to Medusa. 602 gold just for the bounty, but...
It's a butterfly now for SN.
Yeah, that's a nice item investment right there to help Medusa move closer to that butterfly.
Yeah, that's his trust fund now done. They're going to head to the bottom lane. This guy's richer than, I don't know, some... God, this is just ridiculous now for SN. He's just going to go to bottom lane. He has the Lincoln Sphere and Mind Style as well. His Drummond's phase is done. He's almost getting close to 6-slotted. Get maybe like bots and then get your other item. You're good to go. Get a Rapier, man. Why not? Be manly. Meanwhile.
Lara gets a late medallion, but still can always help out to have the extra minus armor, and also has a plate mail. So this Ogre has got a lot of armor on his side. What is it? 34 armor just naturally. Meanwhile, Ink Dota forced to pull out the BKB to retreat, and he will go back. Infinity just kind of toying with him right there at the back end of that one, but that puts his BKB down to 7 seconds now. And meanwhile, along the bottom, Blue Gaming move forward. It's Tubby who tries to scout out and take down a support, but now he gets caught out. They got too greedy trying to get a hold of Medusa or anyone, and ends up blowing right up in his face. That's 2 back-to-back takedowns for Tubby.
He just bought back and then died. I don't know what that was about. That's a bit questionable. Kind of off of, just a little bit off the cuff there, and Root actually lose a hero, and now they're going to try to fight.
Ink Dota goes in from behind, wants to quickly take down Abaddon if possible, and trying to zone back the other 2 supports. But that Stone Gaze catches on the other 3 of Root, and now Ink Dota, backup is going to be way behind. Ancient Seal, he's looking to retreat back, and his Manto is already used, but he will be able to step back. MJW focused down and quickly taken apart. So Centaur's out of the question. Meanwhile, Infinity moves in. He pulls out the Primal Split to make it count. Tombstone quickly falls, but SN looking to clean on up. 2 fall. All day there. Age is going to be expended right now to Lara. Big pressure. He will fall as well. Make it 3. Ink Dota is going to be forced to pull back side by side with Lycus, and Infinity now have taken not 1, not 2 pickoffs, but also a team fight here on this bottom lane. They're going to finish what they started, hopefully, here on the bottom as they take the high ground. Talara now does have buyback, but the Bat Rider's got 15 seconds, and so does Undying has another 15 on top of that, nearly 30 before he's in. It looks like Infinity, though, are going to probably play it safe, and they pull back.
Yeah, they don't have their MGW Centaur. They can't CMP away from any sort of engagement, and they don't have split as well, so they make the right decision. And they're okay. I mean, they have SN at this point. They have a lot of farm on the rest of their heroes as well. They force it to buyback. That's definitely the right decision. And if all goes well, they can just wait until Roshan, and they can actually take this one. The last Roshan was on the back end of a bad fight, or the back end of a fight where they actually won, but they couldn't get back into Rosh and take it. So now just play safe, play confident, get the items that you need to get to finish this game. For SN, I mean, you probably get an MKB because at some point there's going to be a butterfly. In fact, there is a butterfly for Ink. Get an MKB now up on your Medusa, and boom, you're just going to be going to town. I imagine to buy a Demon Edge here. Yep, there it is. So MKB is going to be the next choice for SN.
Going straight for an MKB next after getting a hold of that butterfly. That butterfly adds pressure here. Ink Dota needs to build together an MKB himself, because now you're going to be dealing with the invasion of the Brew and the Medusa, if he wants to be able to even go toe-to-toe with either of them. So he's got 1,700 gold, but he is a ways off from getting that kind of investment. So it's going to be pressure on Root Gaming to keep that space, keep up those defenses. And for Infinity, no, he doesn't have that advantage. So they're going to keep adding pressure while they can and be able to try to break the base as much as possible. But they also are looking to play a little safe themselves, it looks like, getting more items online. Infinity actually goes for the Basher now, looking to get the Abyssal. More lockdown, the better, I guess I always say, as we'll see top lane here. A possible engagement. Ink is real close. Oh, man, they see it. They jump on through. They pull out the Stomp. The Mystic Flare Slam, and he barely gets away with a Manta, and he blinks out. Oh, this kid is slippery as hell as he gets away with nearly like 35 life. Rotations to come. Oh, he can't get away from the Arcane Bolt, and he ends up going down 90 seconds with no buyback. Oh, Infinity are going to love this as they look to push down this top lane, it looks like.
Yeah, that's probably worth a BKB there. You just BKB the Arcane Bolt, blink away, and you're alive. And he just didn't do it. I mean, you cannot destroy an Arcane Bolt. You could try to run it, outrun from it with blink, but as you saw, that clearly didn't work out for him. So now, like you said, they're going to head down top lane. They're going to take the 2-3 tower. And this is going to be probably a set of racks, but they do have enough tankiness and maybe a bit of fight left in them to push them back at the very
He's
least.
so
but-
close to the buyback. 128 gold, but they're not going to wait for that. They jump on in. They're going for Tubby. The fact they want to focus down with this bat if they can. Multi's going to come out. They're trying to save in defensive fuels, but they still surround him. He does able to blink away and get back in the fountain to restore up. None of Infinity are focusing the towers. They want to try to take everyone down as quick as possible right now, and their focus is on Tolera. He ends up going down. The tombstone's going to fall, but they quickly take down that tombstone, and that's what I was talking about in the draft. These kids know what to focus, and that 150 gold is an easy grab for them. Now they go on the tier 3. It ends up falling. These racks are going to fall so freaking quick, and Infinity are looking to get what damage they can before AM is able to get back into this one. He still cannot afford this buyback, and man, Infinity break the base, and they're going to go all the way to the bottom where the tier 3 has already fallen and take their attention on these set of racks next.
Top lane was backdoor protected for a bit. Now the creeps come in, nothing's backdoor protected anymore, and they're just going to go to town. Glyph is going to get popped. Blasso's coming in now. Luss getting caught out. No bar time left. Robotic Shield is ready to go. He still has his heals left to keep him alive. He's still alive. Flame Break. Oh my god, the Robotic Shield helps him live from the Flame Break coming out from that poor Bat Rider. Link gets popped, and they're going for the tier 3. This is going to be mega super maybe.
This is the last hurrah right now for Root as he jumps on it. Ink Dota trying to make the best of it, but gets caught out. And now blast down with the Mana Void on your Brew. They want to get MJW as well, and they can't. But he does get a stomp off on Tubby as he blinks on forward, and they almost take down the defensive Yules. But meanwhile, from behind, it's SN who cleans up, including AM. That's your good game. It's all over. That's top lane after Ink Dota gets caught out, and he has a huge death timer with no fight, or no buyback rather. Infinity just end up capitalizing in what looked like quite the slugfest for our first game of the day.
That was a very impressive and fun game to watch. A lot of people talk about Anti-Mage and Medusa as just farming heroes that sit back and rice, and that's not the meta anymore. This is the meta in Dota right now. Just consistent fighting, high-octane action, and really well played. And it turns out that I think one item choice, which is the early Assault Cuirass coming out from Infinity, changes the tide for Infinity +4. They were getting caught out a couple of times. They were losing team fights. But that item helps them take team fights and roll down and take some Raxes and even get a couple of pickoffs on Ink, which secure them the game.
Just shows the value of, even if it doesn't feel like you're going to need it, you got to get the BKB popped if it means the win or the loss right there. And I don't want to say that that caused the game, but that definitely did not help, unfortunately, for Root Gaming. These kids will look to bounce back. These are best of ones. We got 2 more coming up today. And Infinity, man, they look good on their Summit debut. And just a fun little fact, that very quick Brewmaster Blink grab was actually the 5th fastest blink on Brew ever. Fastest with about 5 minutes and 17 seconds. So it just goes to show how talented Infinity and his team actually are. Our next match coming up is going to be Sneaky Nyx Assassins taking on Team Leviathan, formerly known as Flipside Tactics NA. That'll be coming up in just a moment. Folks, please stick around. This is the Summit 2 by G2A.com. If you like what you heard, you can catch myself over on Twitter at CoddleGuy, and of course my fantastic co-caster with me on this one is Mott. Catch him over on his Twitter at MottDota. We'll be right back in just a moment.